I am so happy. I invited people and I am seeing them here. Thank you so much, friends. This is what your talkative Dorcas has turned into. She's different. I know it's hard to take in, but my dears, you have to go back and tell them this is what she is doing. I want to impact lives, people. I want to impact lives because I have a story. I have a story like everyone else out there. I have gone through something. I have gone through things, which I'm sure there are people that are either going through them or people that have gone through them, but unlike me, have not been able to get back up and reorganize their lives. I'm not saying my life is perfect, yeah? But I thank God that I was able to reorganize my life. Well, it is going to be a story. That's why I didn't carry a book. I don't want to. I did carry a book, but I'm not going to be using it because I want to serve this as raw as it happened. Yes? Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I started working after graduating. And I had a friend that introduced me to this business. I started by selling second-hand clothes. Yes? I hope all of us are familiar with that kind of business. I started from there. Not so long ago, about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah? I started with 2 bells. 2. I was very lucky. I went into a community. Has anyone been downtown where they, not Owino, but there's another, thank you so much, Kalunji Plaza, where they cut those dresses from. Who else has been there? Huh. You know how that place is? Oh my God, you need to visit it. Before I went there, I had no idea. You know, you're coming from campus, you have been a slay chick, and life says you have to work. And the opportunity showing itself is cutting bells. I'm like, how am I going to do this? But somehow, I don't know how, I welcomed the idea and I took it on. So this friend of mine connected me to other people that were actually around me, the place where I rented. My God, these people were amazing. That place is not easy unless you land onto really, really nice people. These people were nice. They taught me everything about the business. Without me paying them anything, they were just nice. And guys, within no time, I started climbing up the ladder. From 2 bells, I graduated. Now I was buying 4. Then I was buying 6. I was buying 10. A time came that I could buy, I was buying only a particular type of dresses because they have materials, and that is how they pack them, according to the materials, yeah? So I was buying only a specific kind of material. And a time came that I could buy all the bells that would come in the container of that material. Yeah? Like if a poly dress brings, when the container comes and it has 20, 24, I may not take all of them in case they came like 40, but the boss knows that I will take all of them and they can keep for me. They used to keep them for me, even when I don't have enough money. That is how much they trusted me. And guys, I was good. Sikwewana, I don't know how, but I thank God. I don't know if it was a talent, because I could open my bells, yeah, early in the morning. And if I've cut 2 or 3, there are days, most of the days, by the end of the day, I would count my money that bought the 2 bells, and some profit, and some more clothes to sell the next day. And even people that I found in the business were now consulting me, Kanoloza can maker, the customer has come. Kanatukatunda maker. I was good. I was good. But this was not good. somehow. I'll be sharing the lessons as the story goes as well. What do you think was the problem with me buying from a specific shop and buying just one particular kind of dresses? Anyone, just feel free. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. I was putting all my eggs in one basket. And if anything had happened, if my supplier had gone down, bankrupt or closed business, so would I. Now, this did not happen. They did not close. But if they had, that is what would happen. That is what would have happened to me. The first, let me say, 4 years or 3.5 were perfect. Perfect. Until COVID came in. And now my suppliers were giving me, now the container has come, there are only 2 bells, 3, but you can take that. And I did not buy from other shops, not because I didn't have money, but I was so comfortable where I was. Yeah? I was making money. I didn't even ever think that I could make money in that kind of business, and now I'm making it, and I don't care. I'm like, it doesn't matter. That is, yeah, the thing I had behind me. Now, they started giving me only a few pieces. I was afraid of buying other materials, of dresses. Why? Fear. Fear is one of those things that are a very big block to our growth. And I'm telling you, as young people, explore. Allow yourself make mistakes. An entrepreneur is supposed to make mistakes. Right? Don't try to be perfect. And never feel comfortable. I was so comfortable where I was. I could take care of myself. I had anything. I felt I had everything. But I did not have everything. Of course, you can't have everything, but I could have had better. But in my place, I thought I was having each and everything. So the comfort zone was a very, very big problem. The lack of diversification was very, very risky. And also buying from a specific shop. Because when COVID swept in, guys, my rent was running. Meanwhile, you're not working, but your rent will not stop running. The bills are running. Meaning what? You are spending money, but you're not bringing in. And even in the business, it is funny. You do a business whereby money comes in daily and goes out daily, but you do not account anywhere. It's not right. Like, wawandika, and you feel bad, right? Yes, and that was the system. Almost everyone down there doesn't write. Yes, they don't. They don't keep records because they are afraid of seeing. Let me tell you, as much as you can make money, you can lose money. Yeah? You can make 600,000 in a day. You can lose 500,000 in a day. This business also is like betting somehow because even the thing you buy, you don't know what is inside. Yes? You don't know. You just know that I've bought a bale of dresses. And you are supposed to open it first to see what is inside. Yeah? Now, moving on. COVID has swept in. I'm no longer getting bills. I have to pay bills. At first, I didn't notice, by the way, that I was going down. Do you know that when you're going down, you don't notice? I used to offload bills. They bring for you 40 bills in a small shop. My shop was small, and I used to share it with someone. And then you also have to keep some with the neighbors. Like I was doing well, guys. But now you are getting 2 bills. You're getting 3 bills. Slowly by slowly. Remember, I was spending but not. Meaning what? Meaning what? Capital mulya. You're eating into your capital. And then an idea came to my mind. I said, okay, it seems I need to diversify. So I decided I'm opening a new shop. This time I'm going to be selling kids' clothes. Still bells, but I wanted only the good ones. Yeah? Because I didn't want to go to a market and open the bells for people to buy. No, I wanted things that I could display, things that I could iron and they still look good and I can display. And those bells are called Baby Light. They range between 1.2, actually 1.2 upward per bell. I bought 2 bells. Hey, before buying the bells, I didn't have the money. What did I do? I borrowed. Guys, credit is available. If you're not serious with the way you borrow money, borrowing can take you down properly. If you do not know the real intention why you are borrowing money, you're on your way down. If you are a borrower. Because there is what we call good and bad debt. Good debt helps you to achieve your goals. For example, you're borrowing to boost your business. Bad debt, you are borrowing to acquire depreciating assets. For example, you're borrowing to buy a car. Does a car make any money? It takes from you. You have to fuel it and you have to service it. Next time it has got an accident, you have to repair it. I'm saying this, but trust me, many of us here, not here, but even out there, borrow to buy cars. You know that? Not because we don't know. We know these things, but we still do them. So we need each other. We need to keep reminding ourselves, and that is just what I'm doing. I'm not condemning anyone. I'm just sharing so that we can learn from this. Yes? So I borrowed the money. All of it. Guys, I opened the bells. Do you know Kasasiro? I bought 1.350 times 2. That is 2.7, right? Is it? I borrowed 3 million. I used the other money. Then I topped. I had very little money, by the way, at that time. And then I topped up some money to pay the rent of the place where I was going to put the shop. So the 3 million was down. And the bells look at me, and there is nothing. Do you know knickers, torn things, and knickers which are rotten, like really? The lesson here is, if you do not already have some, never take on debt. You are supposed to borrow when you are somewhere. Debt is supposed to help you, push you. Go in a worry. Not to get you from down, ground zero. Because the thing is, when you borrow money, the person you've borrowed from or the bank becomes a shareholder in your business. You don't write that down, but that is what it is. Right? The bank or the money lender becomes a shareholder in your business. And you are paying back with interest. You know, it is very easy when you look at a business. Erimuloni. Ojiraba, right? Gastokinze. And then you come back after a few months. Ngarona atandi sokorachi. Okusasula. You can tell. Can't you? You can tell. A loan is very good. Debt is very good when you know how to use it. But it can also turn out to be a disaster when you don't know how to use it. Or I can put it this way. Never borrow money. Ngazisinga gwezoina muchi. Meaning the person you have borrowed from is a bigger shareholder in your own business. Really? First of all, instead of following our financial principle of pay yourself first, you will pay that person first because it is an obligation, right? It is an obligation. You have to pay back that money, whether you have worked or not. And taking on risk is very good because taking on debt is risk. When I borrowed that money, I was risking because I didn't know what would come out of the business. And I also applaud myself. Can you guys clap for me? I took risk. Thank you. I took risk and borrowed money. Yes? I took risk. But taking risk does not mean you take a shot in the dark like I did. I took a shot in darkness. That is what they call calculated risk. Actually, this week I've been running on my social media platforms. Everywhere I'm Kalafa Dorcus. Dorcus Kalafa, you can follow me. Instagram, Twitter. I've been talking about risk. How do you manage risk? Do not avoid it. That is not a solution because the life we live in is just risk. Everything is risky. By leaving your house to come here, you're risking. Eh? By crossing that road, Kampala Road, even if you're smart, at some point you have to run. Today I ran there crossing the road. You understand? That is risk. A border could hit you. Yes? So, just that some things are more risky than others. But for you think you're protecting yourself from risk. No, my dear. Every day you get out of your house, you are risking. Falling in love, that is also a risk. You don't know what you're going in for. You're just risking. You're trying, right? But when you're in love, you don't think it is a risk. You think, sure deal. Do you ever think it is a risk when someone is telling you you're beautiful? Really? Does it ever come to you? Does it ever come to you when a guy approaches you? I'm talking to you, dear sis. Do you ever think of it as a risk? Evera sure, right? Sure. Eh? But it is uncertain. You don't know what will come out of the relationship. But you still take the risk. Back to the story. Where was I? COVID has hit in. Sorry? Oh. Rotten bells. I had a very good girl at home who used to take care of my kids. I was having 2 boys. She was very good. She was like a mother. She knew how to talk to people. Business. Because I thought in a business you need someone who can talk nicely to guys. Of course, she used to talk nicely to people. But did she have the skills to run a business? Did she? It was not enough. It was not enough. But she was such a good girl. And I thought that her goodness would be enough to attract customers. Moreover, in a new business. Yeah? We learn from each other. We learn from our mistakes. And I thank God that I got the opportunity to share this story. Because it is like I've been having that urge to show people, teach people these things. Because you people here, you know these things, right? Have I said anything new? But why don't we do them? Actually, I've stopped telling people to budget their expenditures. You people, budgeting is hard. Have you ever got a pen and paper to start writing? No, you already have them in your hand. Have you? It feels stupid. But don't stop. If you can do it, please do it. And if you can't, I have a solution. And I use it sometimes. When I don't feel like budgeting, I go out with my money. Like I just leave home. And let me see how the day goes. But at the end of the day, if you sit down, try to track. Because now you're not budgeting. You've already spent, but track. What did you spend money on? For example, how did you come here? Did you fuel a car? Did you use a boda, taxi? And how much? Write it down. Did you eat kanyama? Did you eat ice cream? Cafe Javas. That place is tempting. It ate a lot of my money when I was downtown. Every time I would be treating myself and, oh my God. Which is not bad. It is not bad. It is good to treat yourself. But not at the expense of your financial future. Yes? Not at the expense of your financial future. Where was I? Njogera nnyo ne mbula. Kindly remind me. Yes. And within no time, guys, I could not continue the business. As you can already tell, it to the flow. It went down. This girl, by the way, I did not tell you, she got a boyfriend. The boyfriend became a shareholder in our business without my knowledge. Are you saying this? Echirala. Never do a business that you cannot monitor. Nga tofuna budde bugikeberako close. It is not a business. It is not a business. And there are people that are actually employed. When you talk about businesses and self-employment, they kind of feel out of place many times, yeah? Majority of us are employed somewhere, right? But I discovered something that could work for people that are employed and they feel they cannot leave their jobs because not everyone has the heart to say, I've quit my job and I'm getting into entrepreneurship. Many of us fear that risk. And not everyone is good at business. But what about investment? What about investment? When you hear that word investing, and it also scares in such a way that you think investing is for big people, basudil, right? Am I right, guys? You sit down and feel, no, that is not for me. That is not for me, but in my own time, later, because this is not for today. I am getting so much educated and I'm getting into investment for some good time now. And within no time, in future, I think I'll have the audacity to stand in front of people and talk to them about that subject. For now, let me leave it. Back to our story. The business went down. Now, I had a loan to pay. I had no money. The business downtown was crashing. Actually, I was at the verge. I think I actually closed around the same time. Do you know what that means? I closed in town where I was selling dresses, while I also closed this new business that I had started. And guess what happened? I went back home. Guys, I used to count money every day. At least 500,000. Not profit, but you have money in your hands. Do you know what that means? I was so used to holding money on a daily basis. I got stressed. My husband was working up country, so we were just communicating, and he was supportive, really. Ngamba, things will be okay. Maybe you try this, maybe you try that. Guys, from stress, I went into a depression. No, like seriously, have you ever been there? You don't have 10K in your pocket? Guys, please answer me, please. Do you know what that means? Go at the millionaire. Millionaire, it is even funny. Now you can't be 10,000 there. God, I got depressed. And by the way, when you are going through a depression, no one around me even knew. No one knew what I was going through. Because my husband was providing, in his sense, he was providing everything. Like a man should. School fees, we had moved, we were no longer renting, like food. And people were like, at least you're okay. That is what it looks like in the eyes of other people. Nayenga gwama nyicholiko. Me, I wanted money in my hands. I had parents to take care of. My husband, was he supposed to take care of my entire clan? My father. I remember one day my mom's sister called. She was sick. She was ill, bedridden. And she was telling me, kasoda, mwala, ngulireyo kasoda. And I'm like, mama wanga agenda kutukanga sina ya dezi mugulira kasoda. Guys, I didn't have the money. And I didn't tell her that I didn't have the money. I told her, mommy, kanonye. Kankorechi? You know what kanonye means in the village? Omuntu asaba n'okutemesa ennyama. They think money is coming anytime. They can go to the butcher and say, give me, my daughter is sending. But your daughter doesn't have. Guys, I don't even know how I got there. Like I said, sometimes you don't notice. Now my net worth was not anywhere on zero, but it was negative. But it was a series of poor financial decisions, one following the other. Because hoping that you're trying to make the situation better, let me do this. Like I said, taking risk is not taking a shot in the dark. You have to calculate the risk. Keep that in mind. But do not try to avoid it. Back to the depression. I don't even want to remember those days. But before I left town, there's something I forgot to tell you. I had started reading. I had developed a reading culture. In my free time, I get my book and be reading. But you know, the place is noisy. This one is playing music. This one is singing. Like, people are just shouting. People are in their own world. You know how, I don't know if you can picture what that place looks like. I wish I could paint a picture, but something like that. Noise, someone is playing music. This one is doing that. I was trying to read, but the environment. And the lesson here, guys, environment is stronger than will. I really wanted to read because I came across a single line that someone said. I think I was scrolling on my TikTok. That by reading, that reading was one of those most important cultures you could develop. It touched me. I hated reading. But now I'm an addict. I started reading. But you're reading, someone is playing music. There's a day a certain girl came. She was a daughter to one of my neighbors at camp. She's at campus. She found me reading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. That book changed my life. It changed my thinking, my mindset. She told me, this is Uganda. Think and Grow Rich. In Uganda. I felt bad. I did not read for like a week again. I'm like, Manyi. I told myself, Dorcus, Omanyi, this is Uganda. This is Uganda. So guys, choose your environment well. If you cannot avoid your environment, at least find someone else that you can learn from. Because I could not just leave my workplace. I had to stay there. But also, I wanted to read there. Focus. I had to focus. But it was not easy. I had not got the mentorship I've got from here. Thank you so much, coaches. You have changed me. You have changed many of us. You've really touched us. You could not focus. You could distract. You move on. So, since I had already started a reading culture, in my depression, I used to stay in bed the whole day, the whole night without sleeping. But like I told you, no one knew. Sometimes I used to skip meals. I lost weight. You see that I'm small. Hey, I lost weight. I lost all my weight. After losing money, I also lost weight. I could not eat. I could not play with oh my God. I can't stop saying sorry to my children. I felt I was a failure. I was a useless mother. Because in my own picture, a mother is supposed to be a provider. My mother was. That is what I grew up seeing. So I'm looking at myself, failing my children. As little as they are, I'm like, what is going to happen to these people? And I used to use them to get rid of this stress, get rid of the anger. I know this is not good, but sigenda chiro mom. I'm telling you raw as it was. When I wake up in the morning and prepare them for school, they take them to school. Sometimes I used to drop them in mosque. By the way, that reminds me. Okay, thank you. Nga ovuga n'emmotoka n'otwala abaana ku ssomero naye nga nebba wasobola n'okuyimiriza n'agamba mpaayo 5 n'omugamba siina n'alowooza olimba. Do you know what that means? It looks like you have everything. But it was not me fueling the car. So after fueling the car, if it breaks down on the road, I have to make a call. Dear honey, emmotoka. When you could previously take care of those small crises. But I'm going to cut this story short. Reading got me out of that place. Focus on learning. Your income can only grow to the extent to which you grow. I'll say that again. Your income will only grow to the extent to which you grow. Find a mentor, read. I've actually started a book reading club. Yes, because of what reading has turned me into. Hey, how did I get back up? I learned a high income skill. Learn a high income skill. And I taught myself online. There are so many of them. From coding to, what is it called? Digital marketing to trading. So many. So, because of time, I'm going to tell you that reading, develop good habits, change your environment. Change your environment. It's stronger than will. And learn. Do not stop learning. Never stop learning. I learned a high income skill, and as I told you, now I've become a guerrilla fighter. Learning investments. There is money there. I'm going in for that money. And when I do it, when I make it, I shall be back here. Whether next year, the other year, 5 years, 10 years, I'll come back and teach other people how to do it. Thank you so much. This is made possible by Major Coaches team and Hilda Sabiti together with Spirit TV, Spirit Media, and of course, you out there. You know, we cannot come here and talk to ourselves. You. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Dorcus. I'm a personal growth and finance coach. Kindly follow me on my social medias. There is a lot to learn there. I don't keep anything to myself. I'm a river, not a reservoir. Thank you so much. That is my story, and I hope you learn something from it. You can do it.
Hello.
You can get back up. And by the way, it doesn't happen overnight. Learn to watch the grass grow. Things happen in a process. So give yourself time and just fix your life. Anyone with a question, a compliment, or anything before I close? All right.